Hello devs, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to build a register and login forms with functionality using React.js, Node Express, and MySQL database. Okay, this is my register form consisting of first name, last name, mail, password, and if already have an account, click on login and then redirects to login page. And uh, don't if you don't have an account, click on register, and this is my register form. So if I go to home, and you can see I can't able to access home page because I'm not authenticated. Okay, if I uh, login using email and password, if my email and password are correct, I can redirect to home page. After successful login, only I'm able to see home page. So now let's register with one dummy user. Now if I click on register without entering any detail, you can see all fields are required. So now let's enter details. John, first name and last name, John D, and email, john at the rate gmail.com, and password john123. And now I'm changing my confirm password to john1234. So these two passwords are not same. So if I click on register button, and you can see a toast message, passwords are not matching. So I'm entering these two passwords correctly. Click on register. Before clicking on register, and let's go to our database. Okay, this is our table. ID, first name, last name, email and password, and created it. Okay, you can see a empty table. Okay, now let's go to register. If I click on register, okay, navigate to login page, and you can see registered successfully. Now let's go to our database table. Now let's refresh our table, and you can see ID, first name, last name, email, and password. This is password after hashing. So my password is john123. So my password is hashed. Okay, this is the date at which user is registered. Now let's try to log in with our credentials. John at the rate gmail.com, and password john123. Now I'm changing my email to john1. So if I my email is incorrect, so if I click on login, and you can see invalid mail. So I'm giving my email address correctly and changing my password to john1234. Click on login, and you can see invalid password. Okay, now let's enter correct password, john123. Now let's click on login, and you can see navigated to home page successfully. Here is John D. Now let's go to our application, and you can see a token is added from backend, MERN Stack token. So if I click on logout, I will navigate to login page. So I'm clicking on logout, and you can see this will disappear from our local storage. Logout, and you can see navigated to login page, and also my token is deleted from my local storage. If I try to register with email address that is already present in the database. Okay, now let's register with email address john John, and we can see user is already exists in the database. This is the flow diagram of our register and login system. So this is login page. If user enters email and password, if the email and password are true, the user will redirect to home page. If in case the email and password entered by user are incorrect, the user will able to see an error message. So this is the login part, and if user don't have an account, the user will redirect to register page. If already have an account, the user will redirect to login page. So this is the flow diagram. Is our project, and this is front end folder, and this is back end folder. In front end folder, there is a React wide project. Okay, now let's start our React project. CD next navigate to front end. Let's start our project. Okay, now let's go to this URL localhost 5173. Okay, my React project is running in host number 5173. Okay, now let's go to our project, and let's delete all the code here, and also remove these imports. Okay, now go to source folder and create a new folder for components. And in components, I'm creating files register.js, and another file login.js, and another file which is my home page home.js. These are all my components. Now let's design our register form. Okay, before going to design a register form, we need to install some packages. That is npm react outer DOM, which is useful for navigation, and also axios for sending data from front end to back end, and also react outpost for pop-up message. Okay, now go to app.jsx and define the functional components in all the files. Also from .js. Okay, now let's import required for the routing. Import modules from React from and browser router, also routes, also route. Let's define our routes. Routes route. My path is register. For register, I want to display my register component. The component. Let's define another route for login route, and path will be /login, and for my login out. I want to display my login form. Sorry, it's login, login. Another route for home page slash home and element is home. Okay, now let's go to register.js. Okay, now let's design our register form. Let's take a div. uh, let's go to our register, and there is another file to parse. Okay, my file extension should be JSX, not JS. Let's go to register, and in register route, let's check for okay, it's a register, and you can see register here. Now let's design a register form and div. uh, I'm taking h2 tag for heading register. Take another div for inputs of for first name, last name, email, and password. Let's take a input tag and type text and placeholder first name. Okay, let's copy this for last name, for email, for password, and confirm password. So first name, last name, and email. Type email and mail address and password, and this is confirm password. Is also type password. You can see the input tags are first name, last name, email address, password, and confirm password. Now let's take a button for register. Let's take another div and take a button tag register. This is my button. Okay, let's take this button, and you can see the register button here. Okay, now let's style our form. Add background color. Screen height is my screen, and bg color is taking gray 100. I want to make it center. Last name uh, full, height also full. Make it flex and justify content to center and align items to center. So this will center our form, and we can see this is our form centered in of the page. Now make the direction of our form, and let's make it to in vertical direction. Let's column. Okay, I want to change the direction of this input tags. Okay, I'm adding class name, flex, and direction will be column, and you can see inputs are aligned in vertical order. Now let's add some background color, bg white, to change the background color of this, and flex will be column. To change the background color, I'm simplifying my styling here. Copy these items to about div. I'm just changing width to fit and height to fit, and changing bg to white. You can see a background color is added to my form. Let's add some padding, let's say 5. Let's add some padding 5. Okay, now let's add 10. Okay, is enough. Okay, let's change the font sizes of register. Last name and add font bold and text size 2XL. Okay, now let's make it center. X W full, justifies center and align items to center. Okay, now let's style these input tags. Let's add some gap between our tags. Okay, now let's add one top margin. Okay, let's style these last name and add some padding e to. Okay, now remove our outline none. Change background color to uh, gray to 100. Okay, let's change to 100. Add some rounding corners. uh, let's increase the width of my input tag. Okay, with let's add width to 72. Okay, now okay, fine. Let's copy our styling to input and copy paste it for all the input tags. Okay, now let's style this register button. uh, First name width is 72 and change background color to green. Okay, change the text to white. Add some gap margin at top. Okay, add some padding in y direction and on corners. And okay, this is my register form. Okay, now add some gap between our register and first name, and also round our corners for our background. Okay, let's add some padding at MB3 and make our form corners to rounded. at medium. Okay. Okay, now this perfect. Also highlight the register text, which actually font semi bold. Okay, now this is our register form. Let's design a login form. Go to login.jsx and go to route, and you can see login here. If I change the text, this is login and this is login here. Okay, now let's design this login component. I think I simply copy paste the login form here and make some changes. Remove first name and last name and also confirm password. Okay, perfect. This time register is working. Oh, my register name is wrong. It's actually register. Login and this time login. Okay, perfect. Now let's make our form to center. Okay, let's bring our login form to center. Let's add some styling. Width is green and height also screen. Flex and justify items to center. Align items to center. Okay, and add background color. E gray 100. Okay, now perfect. This is a login form. Let's design our home page. Go to home page, and if I go to home, and you can see the home here. If I change the content, this is home. Okay, now let's design our home page. Div, and if user redirects to home page, I want to display a welcome message. H1 tag hello, first name, last name. Okay, this will greet our user with first name and last name. Hello, first name and last name. Add some styling, font to bold, and increase the text size to 3xl, 3xl, and make it center. Screen height, screen, make it flex. Justify content to center and align items to center. Okay, hello, first name and last name. If my name is John D, it will display hello John D. So let's add some button for logout. Button tag for logout. Let's add class name PG red 500 and allow some padding. Okay, this is my logout and some padding in p direction and make text to white. Okay, now make it center. Text justify content to center and align items to center. Useful. Okay, this is the lower button and allows some gap. Okay, let's add 5. Okay, this is my greeting message. Hello, first name and last name. Logout button. Okay, now let's set up backend. Let's close front end and go to backend, and let's create one file index.js in backend folder. Okay, now let's take a new terminal for backend. Let's go to backend cd backend. Okay, let's initialize npm here. Npm init /y. So this will initialize npm in our backend folder. Here now uh, we need to install some packages for backend. Npm install express. It is course cross origin resource sharing and MySQL 2 and also bcrypt for hashing password. So let's install these packages. Okay, my packages are installed successfully. Let's go to our index.js. Let's set up our backend. Okay, for now let's closing all the front end files. Okay, now let's import required packages in our index.js file. Require express. Let's create an app on express. Course require course. Also import MySQL to MySQL require MySQL to use express.json. So use course for security purpose. Course run our backend app.listen. I want to run at port number 8000. If my app is started, I want to display a message server started. Okay, now let's create endpoints uh, routes. Now let's create routes per register login dot post register and take one callback function, asynchronous callback function with request and response. Yeah, and also for login, we have dot post login, same asynchronous function. Sorry, it's ASY asyncs with two parameters, request and response. Also create another route for to check user before going to home page directly. If a user going to home page directly, we want to check whether the user is logged in before or not before going to home page. Okay, app dot get check user with asynchronous function with request and response parameters. So these are my endpoints for register, login, and check user before going to home page directly without login. Now let's check our endpoints. Response dot send hello from register and copy this and paste it for login route and hello for login, hello from register and hello from login, and also hello from check user. Now let's check these routes. Okay, before going to check, we need to run our index.js file. Node index. Okay, now I'm using Thunder client for testing APIs. Okay, and you can see uh, the message server is started. Okay, now let's my port number is 8000. Let's check for register and my method is post, and you can see my method is post and endpoint is register, and also port number is 8000. So post method on HTTP localhost 8000 and endpoint register. Now click on send button and you can see status okay and a message hello from register, and also check login, replace register with login. Click on send and you can see hello from login. Okay, these two are working fine, and also check uh, another route, check user. Also check our check user route, check user, and my method is get method. Let's click on send and you can see status okay and hello from check user. Okay, my three APIs are working fine. Now let's go to our front end. I'm closing this Thunder client and go to register first. Okay, now let's define some use state functions to store our values. First name, set first name, and take use state function to store the value, and it sees empty string, and also for last name, last name state empty string, and also for email function with empty string, Also for password, set password. Also use state function with empty string. Also for confirm password, password set confirm password, so empty string. Okay, let's map value values in our inputs. First name. Also take on change event for updating any value in our first name. Set first name dot target dot value. You cannot simply copy this value on change event and paste it in all our inputs for email and also password and also confirm password. Now let's change it to last name and change to email and change it to password and change it to confirm password. Also change our set first name to set last name and set email and also set password, set confirm password. Okay, let's click create an on click function forward button, handle register. Okay, uh, when click on register button, and on click event will trigger. And let's expand this on handle register function outside our HTML. Constant will register taking a function. Okay, let's log our first name, last name, email and password and also confirm password. This is for testing only. Okay, let's check whether all are getting. When I click on register button, go to our register form. Okay, now let's open console and go to console. Here are warnings. Now take first name John, for example John, and last name Doe, and email John @gmail.com and password John123 and also confirm password John. Now let's click on the register button and you can see first name John, last name, this is the mail and this is the password and this is the confirm passwords. Okay, all the values are getting fine. Now let's send our form details to backend. So to send our form details to backend, you need to use Axios. Let's import our Axios here. Import Axios from Axios. Okay, I want to post it to backend, so I'm taking post method, and my backend is hosting at 8000 local host and port number 8000, and I want to post it to register endpoint. So I'm passing first name, all the form details, last name, email, and password. I don't need to send a confirm password because these two are same. And before sending form data to backend, I want to validate the form. So if my first name is null, if there is no first name, I want to post an error message. If my last name is null, empty, that is last name is empty, I want to post an error message. So I want all the details, none of the form details are empty. Okay, let's validate our form. Let's copy this. If my first name, if there is no first name, or there is no last name, or if there is no email, or if there is no password, or okay, in this case I want to post a message, to post dot error. So I need to import toast, import toast from react hot toast. So I want to post a error message, error with all fields required. So in case if my passwords is not matching with confirm password, uh, usually password is not matching with uh, confirm password, I want to toast another error message, toast dot error, passwords are not matching. Okay, else if there is no error, I want to send form details to backend. Okay, okay, now let's check whether these if statements are working or not. Okay, and also let's open app.js for toaster. Let's include toaster here, toaster from react host toast. Okay, let's close this app. Now let's go to our register form. Let's clear the, if I click on register, and you can see all fields required. It's because I'm not filled the any form, any details. So if I click on first name and uh, John, uh, email, uh, john.com. So I'm giving passwords, these two passwords are different. uh, I'm passing John 123 here. I'm passing John 1234 here. Okay, now let's click on register, and you can see passwords are not matching. If I clear my confirm password, and you can see passwords are not matching. So if I clear email and click on register, and you can see two error messages, all fields are required, and also passwords are not matching because I entered one password here. So I also uh, pass same password here. So I'm clearing my password also, and you can click on register. There is one message, all fields are required. Okay, now let's send our form details to backend. Let's go to index.js, go to our register route and remove these. Now let's log our details from front end, whether it is getting to backend or not. To receive form details, request dot body. So request dot body contains all the details sent from the front end. Let's rerun our code in node index. Now fill our form. Let's refresh our form and let's fill our form. Now I'm clicking on register button. Okay, my data is sent to backend. Let's open our backend console and you can see first name, last name, email, and also password. So this is my data, form data from front end. Now let's store it in our database. Before storing these user data in database, I want to check whether the user is already present in the database or not. If there is already a registered user, I want to get a message user already registered. Okay, now let's check. Before going to check user, I want to connect our Node.js application to database. So let's create one connection. Take a variable connection SQL dot create connection. This object we need to pass our database details like host, database host is my local host, and user is root. This is my database details, and also password is SQL the rate 123. This is my password. If you have different password, uh, you need to pass your password, and also database is default database SYS. Okay, now let's create a table in our database. Let's open MySQL workbench. This is my workbench and you can see the details here. User, root, and localhost. It is running on 3306. Okay, now click on this action and you can see there is only one database SYS. If you want another database, you can click on create new database. Okay, I'm using default database SYS. In this I want to create a table. Create table. Okay, you need to name the table users. I'm taking users and create columns ID and first name and last name, email. These are the columns, and also password, and also I want to save the date at which the user is registered, dated at. So all the columns should be not null. And also I want to make ID to primary key and also unique one. And I also increase ID automatically. Okay, let's apply So this is my database query. If you want to create a database using query, you can use this query, or you can simply create like this. Okay, now let's refresh our database, and you can see users table here. Let's click users table, and you can see this is my table with id, first name, last name, email, password, and created at this is my empty table. Now let's store our user details in this table. Now let's connect it to back database. Connection dot connect. I'm taking a function with error. So if there is no error by connecting to database, I want to log a message connected to database. If there is an error while connecting to database, log failure to connect database. Okay, now run our node application again, node index. Now click on you can see failure to connect database. Let's check where the error localhost and database sys. It's actually if there is no error. So if there is no error, connected to database, or else where to connect database. Now let's stop and run again, and we can see connected to database successfully. Okay, now let's minimize this function, and let's go to our register, and first check whether the user is already present in the database or not. I'm taking a on find user, check user, and select star from users where my email is equal connection dot query, and pass our find user query, and take one function which holds error and also result. If result user is found, log user is found, and there is result. Let's take else, and log user is not found. Okay, now let's rerun our file in index.js. Let's go to our login form, and let's click on register button. I'm clicking on register button, and you can see user is not found because there is empty table, so user is not found. If there is no user found, I want to push data to database. Okay, now for user data query, and let's create a query, insert into users table, uh, first name, last name, email, and password. Let's pass all the columns here, and also values. Uh, you are going to pass values while executing our query. And now for now, let's pass a question mark for all the first name, last name, email, and for password. Okay. Four columns and also pass created at and another question mark for created at column. Now let's execute our query. Connection, sorry, it's a connection dot query, and let's pass a store user data query. And now you need to pass details in square brackets. What is first name, last name, and email, and password, and also created it date. I'm taking current date, new date. This will return current date. New date function will return current date. Now let's take one function error and result. I'm taking double T because uh, if I take result, these two are getting same, then we get an error because these two results are same. So I'm taking 1T extra, double T. So if there is an error while storing database, log one message failure to store data, and if there is no error, and let's log another message store stored in database. Okay. Okay, now let's stop our server and rerun again. Now let's go to our register form. Click on register and let's go to our backend, and you can see user is not found because there is no user with john@gmail.com, and also stored in database successfully. Let's go to our uh, MySQL table. I'm refreshing the table, and you can see my user is stored in database successfully. John D at gmail.com, and this is my password, and this is my date and time at which user is created. Okay. Now I want to hash this password. So this is my password. I'm getting the password as user enters. So before storing into database, I want to hash the password. Then I want to store hashed password in the database because of security issues. Let's import one package to bcrypt the data, bcrypt our password, bcrypt require bcrypt. Okay, now let's hash our password before storing data. I'm removing my message. Then hashed password. Okay, bcrypt dot hash. You need to pass our password. My password is my password, and let's take a number. I'm taking a number 10. If you increase a number to 15, your password gets much stronger. So I'm taking 15. Now this is my hashed password. So instead of storing my password here, I'm changing to hashed password. So now my hashed password will store. Now I'm going to table. So I'm trying. So I'm try. So now I'm trying to register user with same email address already exists in the database. Okay. Now let's click on register. Okay, I forgot to rerun the index file, node index. So I'm clicking on register button, and you can see fails to store data because a user is found. So I remove. Okay, sorry, user already exists. Okay, now let's stop the server, rerun again. Whenever you change the data in the index file, you need to stop the server and run again. And let's go to our register page. So john at the rate of gmail.com is already exists in the database. Now I'm again registered with email id that is already present in the database. Okay, now click on register and go to our console, and you can see message user already exists because failed to store data. Failed to store data because user is already exists in the database. Okay, now I'm changing my email to john1. So if I change john at the rate of gmail.com to john1 gmail.com. Now I'm clicking on register button. Let's go to a console, and you can see stored in database successfully. Now let's go to table, and you can see Johnny do is added successfully. This time john 1. Okay, this is my hashed password. So, and you can see uni my password is john123 same, but this is the hashed password. Now I want a toast message when I register successfully, or if there is an error while registering. Now let's work on this. So let's send. Now let's send this message to frontend. Response dot send a message. User is found. Oh, now let's remove this log message, and also send this store in database message to frontend. Dot send. I want to send a message registered. Registered successfully. Okay, now I'm removing my log message, and there is an error while storing database. Let's send a message response dot send failed to register. Okay, now let's take the response from backend dot then result. Okay, let's toast our message here. Toast dot toast dot success response dot data. Okay, now let's run our code again. Go to index.js and okay, fine. So I'm removing my body. Rerun again. Okay, to database successfully. Let's go to this time I'm changing my email by adding to john12@gmail.com. Let's click on register button. uh, let's go to, and you can see a message, toast message. I'm adding another one. So john123, let's click on register. You can see a message, registered successfully. Okay, if I register with the same mail again, and you can see user is found. Also let's click on user is found. uh, let's change user is found to user is already exists. Now let's run this. Let's go to, so I'm taking registering with the same mail which is already present in the database. Click on register and you can see user is already exists. I change mail John1234. Click on register and you can see a message that registered successfully. Let's refresh our table and you can see all these are different mails. Okay, these are all my passwords which is hashed password, and we can see the mails. All the mails are different. No email can match with the other mail, so all these are unique mails. So if I register successfully, I want to navigate to the login page automatically. Okay, now let's go to register. So let's add one condition here. If my response dot data is equal to registered successfully, paste it here. Register successfully, toast a message, success message, and register successfully or response dot data. So if response dot data is equal to uh, user is already exists, I want to toast a message, or this time I want to toast an error message. Okay, response dot data. Okay, else I want to toast a message which is this failed to register toast, and it is also an error toast because failed to store means error response dot data, and okay, Let's go to our register. Let's click on register button, and you can see this time you can see this is an error toast. Click on register and you can see the error toast here. And if I am registered successfully, I want to navigate to the login page. So let's create a navigate here. Navigate, use navigate. Navigate here. Let's import our navigate. Import navigate from yet router DOM. Okay, let's go to our register page. Click on register. Okay, all which are required. John. Let's click on register. You can see I'm getting this pay to register message because of if statements. It's actually else if, and also it is also else if statement. Okay, now let's check again. Okay, my after successful registration, my page is redirects to login page. Now let's go to again and first name. Let's fill the application again. I'm clicking on register button. You can see my page is redirects to login page, and also seen successful registration post message. Now let's work on login. Now let's take use state functions for email and password. Now let's take use state hook for storing our email and password for login. Email, email, string, actually email. Okay. Take another hook for password. For use state with empty string. Now let's pass our these values to our input value email, and let's take on change event for update our email. Set email dot target dot value, and also for password copy this value and on change event. Okay, let's change to password and also change here to set password. Okay, now let's staying on click event for our button. On click, name it, name pass a function, handle login, login. Now let's expand our function outside the HTML code. Constant handle login. Now let's log our email and password for testing. Email and password. Okay, now let's go to our login form. Now let's John at the rate of gmail.com and pass a password John123. Now let's open console. Let's clear all the errors. Okay, now let's click on login and you can see email and password. So my button is working fine. Now let's pass our form details to backend. Now let's import Axios. I want to post my form details to HTTP localhost port number 8000 and slash login. So login is my endpoint. So at this endpoint I want to pass my email and password. Email and password. Now let's go to index.js. I'm closing register.jsx. Okay, and let's minimize this post to register function. Now let's remove this and let's log our body. First dot body. Check whether my form details are getting to backend or not. Okay, let's go to our backend. Okay, let's stop our server and run again. And okay, server started and go to the form. Let's click on login and you can see my data is sent to backend, email and password. Okay, now store it in database. Now I want to check this email present in the database or not, and then we need to check our password. So this is a normal password, and in database we have a hashed password. So let's decrypt our password, and then we verify with this password. Okay, now let's destructure our requested body. Email and password, email and password from requested body. Okay, I'm reviewing my log. Okay, now let's find user with email. Let's write a query for finding user in the database. Find user query. Select from users table where email is equal to our mail. We are going to pass this mail uh, while executing our query. Now let's execute our query. Connection dot query. Let's pass our query here and also pass our email here. Let's take a function which holds error and result. Okay, if there is an error, let's log one message uh, invalid. Or let's check invalid email address. Okay, now if my result dot length is greater than 0, my result length is greater than 0, the email is exists in the database. Now if email exists, let's check for password. So email phone, then we need to check password is whether it is correct or not. Before going to check, let's decrypt our password and then check. Okay, uh, constant check password. You need to use bcrypt dot compare our password and password from database, password from user that is this password and password from database result dot password. Okay. Okay, before checking our password, let's make comment and first log our result first. If there is an error, else let's log our error. Okay, now let's check. Stop the server and rerun again. Go to our login form. Okay, this is let's say John one login, and you can see user exists with email John one, and this is my password. Okay, now let's check password. Check for password from user and password from database. So result is this object. You need to access password from this result. So this is our result. We need to compare this password from result and password from user. Okay, this variable gives true or false. It's a boolean value if passwords are same. After hashing, after decrypting, it gives true, or else it gives false. Okay, now log our check password also. Check password. Okay, now let's stop this and run again. Now let's go to click on login and go to there is an error. Data and hash arguments are required. Okay, my result is 0, right? I want access result from first index. Okay, let's make it asynchronous function, async function, and wait until our password is decrypt. Okay, let's run again on node index. Now click on login, and you can see this is our data, and you can see true here. So this return true because my password and password from database are equal. So if I am changing password John 123 to John 1234, I'm adding 4. Now click on login. Let's wait for password, and as you can see it gives false because my password and hashed password are not same. Now let's remove this, and if my password is true, I want to send, okay, I want to log a message, login success, or else log another one, invalid uh, password. Okay, let's clear our console, run again. Okay, now click on login. I want change passing original password John 123. Now click on login, and see message login success. Okay, now I am changing my password to John 1234. I'm clicking on login and see for the message. You can see invalid password. Remove this console and change invalid email. Okay, Now let's send our these messages to front end. To send this message, response dot send, copy this message, login success, control C, paste it here, and also send this message if in case invalid password, response dot send, invalid password, paste it here, and also send this if in case wrong email, response dot send valid mail. Okay, so now let's remove our messages here. Okay, now let's go to our front end and receive our message from backend. Dot then response. Let's toast our message. Dot success. It's already toast. Dot, dot. We need to import toast. Import toast from at hot toast. Toast dot success result dot data. Okay, now let's go to run our server again. Our login. Now click on login. We need to refresh our login here. Let's copy this mail, and you can see invalid password. So I'm changing my password to on 123. Click on login and see message login success. So I want error message when there is email password or email. So I'm changing my email to 10 John 10. So John 10 is not there in database. Okay, now click on login, and you can see invalid mail. Go to our code and let's remove this. If in case my response dot data is equal to login success, I want to display success toast. Response okay, say toast dot success, or else if email or password are invalid, I want to toast an error toast response dot data. Okay, now let's go to okay, now let's click on login, and you can see this is error toast invalid mail. So I'm changing mail to original one, and let's see, click on login. This time I invalid password. Now let's pass original password on 123. Now click on login. You can see our login success. Now let's work on JWT token. So if my email and password are correct, I want to send a token to frontend, and I want to store it in localhost or session storage. So okay, so I quickly explain the purpose of token. When I go to home route, home, so I'm able to access the home route without any authentication. So I want to check the token is present in the local host or not. So if there is no token, I want to redirect to the login page without direct access to the home route. Okay. Now let's work on JWT. For JWT, you need to install one package. Is JWT JSON Web Token. npm install JSON Web Token. Okay, now let's install this one. Okay, now let's import our JSON Web Token here. JWT require JSON Web Token. Okay, now if my email and password are same, okay, I want to assign a token. Now let's generate a token wt.sign on our result of 0.id. I want to generate a token on my id. Okay, next you need to pass a secret key. For now my secret key is MERN Stack dev. Okay, you can change this secret key as your wish. Now let's log our token here, whether it is working fine or not. Token. Okay, now run again. Yeah, okay. It's node install node index. Okay, now let's go to our form. john1@.com. Let's click on login. You can see login success. Now let's go to our backend. This is okay, you can see this is our token. Okay, this is our token. So now we need to send this token to our front end. Okay, let's remove our message here. Now let's send our token. I want to send a JSON upon success. JSON message JSON. Let's remove our login success. Let's copy this and take a JSON. Our message is login success, and token is our token. Okay, now let's pass a wait here. Let's login, and also let's data dot message. Now let's log our data here in frontend console. Response dot data. Now let's open console. Let's clear the errors and let's click on login, and you can see login success. And this is my JSON object from backend, and you can see message and token. This is my message and this is my token. So this is my message, login success. Okay, now let's let's remove this log message. So if my login is success, I want to store my token in localhost. Now let's store our token in local storage. Local storage dot set item. I want to name it MERN Stack token. Okay, let's pass our token here. Response dot data dot token. Okay, now let's go to our application and go to local storage, and you can see there is no token. Okay, for now there is no token. If I click on login, my token is added into local storage. Let's click on, and you can see token is added to into my local storage. Now fine, let's go to our home.js file, and before accessing this page I want to check for token. If token is there, the user is authenticated, or else user must be relog again. Uh, check for user, check a function, check user, and then get a token from local storage. Token local storage dot get item. In get item, you need to pass our token name. This is our token name, MERN Stack token, and let's pass it here. And if token, okay, if there is no token, okay, if there is no token, I want to redirect to login page. So let's create one navigate to navigate to login. Use navigate. Let's import use navigate. Import use navigate from react.dom. Yeah, now let's, if there is no token, let's navigate to token page, or else, okay, uh, if user is there, I want to display a message toast dot success, user is logged in. Okay, uh, close this. Let's go to, okay, I want to check user when my page is loads. Use effect, I'm taking use effect to check user when page loads. Check for user. Okay, let's passing empty array. Now let's go to home page. Home page, you can see here hello first name. Okay, you can see this is my home page. Now I am removing my token from local storage. Okay, now I'm removing my token. Delete, and let's close this, and now I'm refreshing my home page. You can see my page is navigated to login page. So if I again accessing my home page, so access my home page, and it should not be accessible. Okay, now let's click on login. I want to add my gmail.com. If I click on login, there is invalid password. Okay, I forgot at the rate. Okay, click on login. Login success. Now I'm able to access home page, and you can see, let's go to application, and you can see token is added. So if I remove this token, and let's refresh our page, and you can see, my page is navigated to login page. Now let's go to login. If my login success, I want to navigate it to home page. Navigate, navigate to home page. It's now let's define our navigate here. Constant navigate use navigate. Okay, this is navigate. Okay, now let's log in now. Try to log in. john1@gmail.com and john123. Now click on login. Okay, login success and token is added. So this is my home page. So I redirect to a home page. Now I want to display my user first name and last name. Go to index.js, login.js. So I want to send my token to backend. Now let's go to login, and if there is a token, let's go to home page, and if there is a token, let's remove this log message, and if there is a token, if there is a token, I want to send my token axios dot push to backend http localhost 8000 slash get user route. So get user route. I want to send token. Okay, let's go to index.js file. Let's minimize our login route and get it's actually get user. Remove this message. Let's log our request.body, whether my token is getting to backend or not. Request.body. Uh, let's remove. Okay, let's log our result. Okay, now let's rerun our server. Sorry, my method is post method. Let's rerun our server index. Okay, let's refresh this one. Okay, my token is sent to backend, and you can see this is my token sent to backend. Now let's tap this token first dot body. Now I want to verify my token. I want to verify my token. Content right token wt dot verify our token and secret key. My secret key is same as MERN Stack dev. Let's copy our secret key. Let's paste it here. Okay, now let's log our verify token. Okay, now let's rerun our server again. Refresh our homepage. Okay, so I am getting ID. This is my ID. So because I signed my JWT token on my ID. So this is my ID too, because I signed my JWT token on my ID. If I want uh, the entire user, like first name, last name, all the user data, I want to sign on my user data, not ID. Now I'm changing my id to user data. Now let's run again. Before that, we need to remove our token from local storage. Remove this and login again and click. Let's run our server now. Now login on one at the rate gmail.com, and now password john123. Click on login. Okay, login success. Navigated to home page. Now go to our uh, and you can see this is my user data. After verification my token, uh, this is my token data. Okay, now I want to send my token data to frontend. At user, let's send it to frontend. Let's remove this log message. Response dot and our verify token to frontend. Okay, now let's run again. Now let's go to home page. Let's log our response from database. Response log response. Okay, now let's go to console. Let's clear. If I refresh, and you can see object from backend, and this is my object. You can, if you see the data, and you can see the user data here. First name, last name, email and password. Now let's display our first name and last name here. Okay, uh, take a use state for holding our data, user data, and set user data state taking null value. Now let's set it to user data. I want to access data from my result. Okay, now let's map here. If my user data dot first name and then user data dot last name. Again, let's go to home page, and you can see hello John D. So you can see hello. Now let's work on logout functionality. So go to our home.js and create a function constant logout. If I click on logout, I want to remove my token from local storage. Local storage dot remove item and stack token. Okay, this is my token name. I want to remove my master token when I click on logout button. Now let's pass our logout on click function logout. Now let's say asynchronous function and click await, and let's check for user. This will refresh our home page. Okay, now let's go to. Okay, if I click on logout, and you can see uh, navigated to login. and again login john1@gmail.com john123. Let's click on login. Okay, now let's go to inspect and application, and you can see MERN Stack token. If I click on logout, my token will remove from local storage, and then navigate it to login page. So clicking on login, you can see redirects to login page, and also my token is removed from local storage.